So I actually walk from there. That's the city square or the city hall of Copenhagen. And now I'm approaching this building that we've been targeting to visit. I don't know if you can see it already peeking through the trees and the roofing, but it's the building designed by OMA. It's called the BLOX. It houses several uses, and the most prominent one is the Danish Architecture Center. And since it's the DAC, I don't think we should miss it in this visit. So the signage is pretty humble. This is probably a sticker on the glass. Okay, this is a surprise because there's a playground just beside it. So I can see children playing, taking the slides, going up and down. And probably if I was 5 years younger, maybe way younger, I'll probably try this myself. So it has some staircase and then some amphitheater like steps, and then a combination of the stainless slide, and then I'm sure those are cushioned, the black ones, because it needs to be child friendly. So it's nice that it's integrated with this entire building, so and make, you know, this building more friendly and accessible, more family oriented, and make, you know, architecture more accessible for everyone. So if you can see, the architect intention was to combine many of the uses of this building. Like the idea is to combine the architecture center, the museum. No, the architecture center is the museum already, a fitness center, a cafe, and I believe there are 21 or 22 residential units in this building. And OMA is known for challenging and combining programs and mix of uses, and not to mention how this building is reacting towards the site, because this is situated in front of the harbor front, with the initiative of the government to make the harbor front lively, because it used to be desolate. So it's one of their tools to catalyze the area by creating this facility. And knowing OMA, they try to do some acrobatics on the programs by mixing it, and at the same time, if you know how architects plan their buildings, like you have the commercial, it only makes sense you have the commercial at the ground because of foot activity, and then you have the residential at the topmost, and probably something a little quieter in the middle, like a museum perhaps, or an architecture center perhaps. But in this case, no, OMA tried to imagine it to be like a jumbled programs, like they try to situate different programs on different levels. In fact, even the road, you can see that the cars passing by right on this level, and then if you are a pedestrian, you have to go down to enter the museum and the shop. So that's what we're going to do now. So you can imagine that these are made of blocks that are stacked together, and they imagine it like a pixelation, and each pixel will have different, probably will have different uses appropriate for the form. So interestingly, they were able to provide skylight. It goes all the way down here, and from here you can already see the play of the floors, and make the views more dynamic, because from that angle you can already see the lobby of the DAC and the shop on the left. And yet, when you are already here, you know, there's so many things that you are encountering, just like the roadway here. So it's not really an ugly part of the building, but it's part of the design, how dynamic the design is, and how they celebrate each of the programs. So and not to mention, of course, the playground and the hangout areas connected with the shop. So let's enter the building. So you have digital displays of probably the exhibition. of the building. And then they have a nicely designed seating made of polypropylene or plastic. I don't know how to pronounce it, but again, it's very abstract, fits well with the building. And let's go to the other side before we go to the front desk. So I guess this is, if you notice the furniture, the seating area there, it's for waiting, and this is for the playground. And you can see how they are shaped differently to accommodate the anthropometrics of the kids. So you know, you can imagine the kids standing here, probably using this as a slide. And they even have an inverted playground, a playhouse or something, and which is, you know, really interesting, because in my world, in the architecture world, we try to think of the architecture differently. So what if the attic window becomes a different kind of window? And you know, as early as now, they try to pick the imagination of the kids who are passing here. And I guess this is what the architects meant when they want to make the public use the building as an access towards the harbor. So let's take a quick look of how it's like to go up there. So this is definitely made of steel. Again, they're letting it rust, and I'm not sure what the program is, but there's definitely curtains they're covering something. And then the other side, you know, is a fitness center, and lends a view. There's a fitness center that views towards this area, and of course it is the access to the harbor front. So there's a fitness center, that's the Wilkinson Ira Bridge, and then the waterfront. So in that regard, I think the connections are successful when it comes to people actually using it as a crossing. I'm not so sure, because the moment you have glass partition and you encourage people to use it, and it feels like an obstruction, you're already discouraging people to cross or use it. So that's the gym, and that's another stairs going to the harbor. So yeah, so I was right, this is a playground thingy. So while people are still lining up, maybe I'll just check this area out. It's called the Heart, and I wonder what it's for. Oh no, it's part of the exhibition already. So so there are areas that are accessible and areas that are enclosed. So this is what I was talking about. If this is kept as open, then people will be probably more encouraged to cross and use this passageway going to the harbor front. But conceptually, it is actually acceptable. It's actually good. It still feels that way, and probably if I'm in that position, I would be happy to have this design idea approved. So you can see the staircase exposed on this side, so it really makes the space dynamic, and you can see everyone and doing their own thing. And that's the program acrobatic that I was referring to. So I think it's time for me to go in, or maybe wait for a while. I didn't buy a ticket online, so can I buy now?
Of course.
Alright.
Just one normal adult ticket?
Yeah. I actually emailed Mia or something, because I asked permission if I can take a video. So she allowed me.
Okay, yeah, no worries. That's no problem.
Okay, thank you. But how much again? Alright. So for adults, it's actually 115 krone. So they give you this sticker as a ticket. You just put it on your chest. So here it is. So let's go in. I'll probably get the brochure later. And right now the exhibition is about, the main exhibition theme is about a space saga, as shown here in this preview. So they have a scale model of that. They have to have a scale model. It's an architectural museum, for crying out loud. So okay, so honestly, one of the nice things about going to an art or design museum is, is the shop, because you find one-of-a-kind designer stuff. In fact, I'm already eyeing one, so maybe we come back here later. So this is open to public. You don't have to buy a ticket to come here if you want to buy something, but there are restricted areas wherein the ticket is already has to be honored. So you put your coat here, and then the exhibition can start from here or through the stairs this way. And you can already see the atrium with the staircase, and then through this elevator. So I try to change my coat. I try to leave my coat here. So I wasn't able to use the locker because the lockers are busted, like some of them. And this is the directory. Okay, so definitely not going to the conference room. So I just want to see how Oma designed their toilet. Actually, very simple. It reminds me of the toilet design that they designed in PRADA Milan. So let's go to the exhibition under the stairs. Oh, okay. Since I love scale models, so maybe it's better to understand the design here. So resident in BLOX is 2. Okay, let's really say 2, but okay, so these are the residential.
I'm not sure exactly if that's the one, but they're like in the top of the door.
Oh yeah, for privacy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the atrium that we saw was this one, because the playground is here, so it's really integrated by the architect. And then this is the stairs going down. So this is the residential complex, and then it's a mix of uses. So from the top, it really looks like a pixelation. So I always tell my students that whenever they design something, they have to include a subdued version of the surrounding buildings, such as these 2 buildings around it, so that you can really see how this building was designed in the context of the harbor front and the surrounding buildings and the highway, etc. Here they don't have the Wilkinson Eyre bridge yet, but I would say that the Wilkinson Eyre was sited beautifully. So there's a Lego area here for kids to play, and unfortunately there's no English version. That's why I'm not sure how to use this. So you have the small, medium, large. Yeah, it's Lille Langebro. That's the bridge outside. Okay, so let's go to So it only makes sense that we use the stairs going up. So you are welcomed by a garden. Ah yeah, this is the moon because it's all about the space saga. So they have some installation here. So the flooring is made of stainless steel composite. So even if there's, although it's you see a lot of scratches, I think it's tolerable because you know it's the one that you use in the kitchen. So it's expected to have those scratches. And you know, another staircase going to probably more exhibition areas. So you have to go through here. But this is an installation, this is not a permanent display. So before you go to the actual exhibition, so I'll just give you a preview of the exhibit because I'm not sure if you're allowed to film it. But I really appreciate that even in the main exhibition, you can see people walking on the street, like it's, you know, it's really part of the urban reality. So and again, you have a glimpse of the street, and the intention of the architects again to make this accessible, but you know that this is not going to be operational, it's only for emergency exit. But it is there, but it's locked because of security reasons. So going up again, this is concrete, this is steel. I think it's very hard to tell if it's concrete or steel. And interesting enough, you can see the gym right beside it. And this is how OMA tries to provoke design and the program. Like you have a very odd combination of spaces, very odd relationship of programs, and maybe that's the reason why they called Office for Metropolitan Architecture, because you can only do that when you're talking about the city, and then you have an office right above it. Although you know this is already existing in buildings, but the way they designed it in a way that it's really the architecture is just very interesting. So we are at the exhibition area, so definitely this is curated, but this is meant to be just a big open area so that there's more flexibility in terms of planning the exhibition. So the exhibition is about the kitchen. I think it's the women architects as well. So these are temporary installations to divide the exhibition area, but the main design is really the open hall. So we're not going to talk about the exhibition. We leave it to the curators, because when asked permission to film this, I promise that I'm not gonna cover the exhibition, but you can already see how it's like anyway. So those are offices overlooking the exhibition. So there's really no issue about, you know, being visible from the office, being visible from the cafe or from the gym. And this is a nice sitting area, because even though this is a big exhibition hall, it can be a performance space as well, or probably this is where they do their ceremonies when they're opening the exhibition. And when there's no exhibition or there's no event, it's just a nice hangout area. If you have kids playing around, and you can just wait here. The floor is rubber-like. And then this is like a common area where kids can play Lego. with their parents or with anyone. Obviously, more like a communal area, and then overlooking the road, and then the Danish National Library, and then the Copenhagen Harbourfront. Yeah. So I wonder where the architecture exhibition leads to. I mean, the space leads to. So again, it's about getting lost in a architecture that is new to you. Okay, so at least we're inside the building, not in the city. So I want to take a look at the toilet design again. Again, the flooring is stainless steel. You can see a lot of scratches already with the rubber nosing. And of course, this is the food hall. Yeah, this is the food hall. And you can see the structural bracing. So this is what's holding the entire building together, at least this volume. So use the other door. So I guess it's not. There you go. So we want to see the view of the Copenhagen Harbourfront. So this is their patio. Is that a seagull? So that's the library, Christiana. Nice sitting area. I wonder if the architects also designed the sitting area. And the harbourfront. Really a beautiful view of the city. And I can see another BRK design architecture, also with a collaboration with JDS. Okay. I don't want to scare him off. So I reckon that those are residential units because I can see a television and then a potted plant. So the tint probably provides the residents some privacy, and probably that's their private garden. Yeah, it is the residential area, and you can see that I-beam, the vertical I-beam, it goes all the way down. I don't know, it's actually planted, and then there's a vertical I-beam on the corner. So I guess there's really nothing here except the eating area. So that's the cafe. It's only now that I realize that it's the Rooftop cafe, and I think it's supposed to be accessible from the other side as well, but they close it as an exit door. So the flooring here is also rubber-like. It's a little bouncy. And then you can see another cafe in between the escalators going to the exit. This is taking forever. So again, another interesting play of spaces, and then you have a cafe again at the ground level, which I'm going to try later on. So there's a slide and installation that I also saw in a museum in Brisbane or Lisbon. I just saw kids slide down, and some hangout areas with designer furniture by Hans Wegner. Again, another rubberized. I really don't know what to call this material, but it's definitely rubber-like. But this time it's in color green. And then of course, one of my favorite iconic designer, Arne Jacobsen. So it's actually pretty small. The museum itself, or the Danish Architecture Center, is actually not that big, but it's only massive outside because of the combination of the other programs. Cecil Mans. Ooh. So again, this is the toilet. So it's still a solid surface. Again, built in. Everything's built in. So it's seamless. So you have that 18 mm thickness, and then you can open it. Even the door is solid surface, built in with a stainless trash door. And then you have a vanity mirror, a seamless one, of course divided into segments, and with lighting fixture built in. So I wonder if you can open it like a door so that you can replace the bulb. And then again, the typical toilet. It's actually interesting that you have black, white, and then you have the black version. So this is laminate, this is laminate, and this is a very narrow vanity counter built in. So I want to do something, and I'm curious how wide the passageway is, and in this case the playground. Actually, I want to go to the staircase first. The only downside is it's reflective, so I'm not sure if the laser will work. So let's try. It's 13 meters. It's 13 meters wide. It actually worked. And the stairs, although this is jagged, so it's 4.2. And how high is it? How high? Okay, it's 11.1. And let's check the passageway. Okay. It's 5 meters. Okay. I guess that's enough to give us an idea how big a passageway, a public passageway can be, and a lobby can be. And I reckon this is a bit squarish, so probably at around 13 by 15 or 17. So we go to the exit and let's check out the cafe. And that little balcony going to that space is actually probably access to the office. So it's a very discreet discreet entrance. They call it the BLOX hub. And then it opens up to a mini open space with an old building, and they have some installations here outside for sitting area with some graphics. And that's the cafe over there. And let's check it out. So as you know, I'm addicted to coffee, so they have an ante room. Maybe yeah, this is a lounge area. And they have a very interesting lighting. Just a T5 on a shell of a glass. And then the eatery is upstairs, the one that we saw earlier. It is actually overlooking the creek, and you can see the library from here. So the flooring is made of epoxy with metal nosing. I don't know. Yeah, metal nosing. Some of them are. I'm not sure if it's metal nosing. Yeah, it's metal nosing. Some of it are run down already. And this is the cafeteria.
Well, it's nice to hear that.
So this cafeteria overlooks the entrance to the DAC, and then of course the exit as well. If you remember when we went out, and then it's also overlooking the terracing display area. So I just realized something about the cafeteria, because if you're a concessionaire, you have to operate the two elements, the cafe and the restaurant upstairs, because you have to go through the cafe to go through the restaurant. And then you can walk around the building. And what I've been pointing out about the architecture that we've seen so far, there's really no backside or front side. Everything feels like it's designed to be like a frontage. So it's the same case with this one. As we go towards the waterfront, so even if this is the room for the generator, you know, they have a interesting steelwork design. It's dirty already, so from afar it's like a pattern, and then across you have the same thing, only in white or silver. So bike lane, sidewalk, and then the glass wall of the museum, so you can see the first exhibition hall of DAC. And again, the green glass alludes to the green color of the Copenhagen water. So this is how it looks like on this side. So because of the pixelation, there's some terracing happening, and that is the cafe over there. And then again, the green on top is a residential component. So let's try to walk to the other side, to the waterfront. And there's so many open spaces here that the public can enjoy. They're not selfish to provide it to the public, because this area used to be desolate. It used to be an industrial military zone, and now they are reviving it. And one way to revive it is to provide catalyst for cultural, commercial activities, and DAC is one of them. So again, we can see the Lili Langebro Bridge, and it is the gym with a nice view of the waterfront. And then we have a bike parking. it's a necessity and a requirement when you build something in Copenhagen, I would assume. So from afar, this is how it looks like. If it looks like pixelated to you, maybe you have to go far to realize that. And then it's really nice how like the movement of the bicycles is, you know, somehow integrated with the scene of the DAC. Well, I just want to show you that this is another street leading to the DAC or BLOX. So again, how the streets are laid out and how the architecture is positioned to be visible from different streets. So this becomes a terminus of the street as you walk along this path, and a dominating element in this street experience. So we had to walk this path so that we can see the entire building, at least from this angle. Let's talk about the different shades of the glass, the glazing. So you have the whitish, and then the lighter green and the darker green. Darker green, I would assume, will be the private areas. The whitish will be the office, and then the lighter green is the architecture center and the cafe, etc. So it's just an assumption, I could be wrong, but normally, like I said, we assign colors to color code the spaces. So this is, I don't know what this building is, but definitely it's you know, you are definitely made to appreciate all the buildings around you, because the place is laid out well, that it respect each other's presence. So this is the approach from the artery along the Copenhagen harbor, and you can see Lili Langebro or something. It's a bike bridge designed by Wilkinson Eyre. So you cannot see the building yet from here because of the trees. And this is a nice waterfront park. People can hang out here, although it's very cold now, but it provides a nice public space for everyone. Playground there, sitting area there, and that's the BLOX. So I really like how they designed the form. So I really like how they put the bridge beside it, and then this is the architecture of the design, Danish Architecture Center, and then peeking behind it is the Danish National Library, or Royal Danish Library. And then just a bit across is a series of government buildings, and then Christiana, a very controversial hippie community. So you can see that the artery, the road is actually piercing through the building, and this is one of the concepts of OMA when they were designing this building. So the Lili Langebro, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is actually a pedestrian and a bike bridge in one. So it's nicely and gracefully designed. And Wilkinson Eyre, if you Google his designs, it's actually, most of his designs are really graceful and elegant. So originally the intention of the architect was allowing the pedestrians to cross through the building without having to cross the road, but you know, this is inevitable, maybe because you don't want to cross or to enter the building. And you know, we have to admit that even though the intention of the architect is to make the building accessible and like a tool for access, you know, it's still a building. It still feels like it's an obstruction. So the loop around the DAC or the BLOX. And if you're going to ask me, DAC is pretty small for an exhibition space, and it's my first time to come here, and for me just to see what OMA means when they combine uses, when they mix programs. At least I've already witnessed it in person, and I hope that you were able to experience it yourself even through my videos. So interestingly, I was walking going back to the city hall, and then I encountered a pavement design where they use the same rubber material, so it's actually used for the outdoor as well. Well, it's something that I just wanted to insert. Okay, thank you.